Hello, Starberry Cubs. This will be a general love and relationship reading for anyone who feels drawn to this reading at this time. It may resonate now, it may not. It may resonate a month from now, or it may not be your story this time. You can be the judge. Your intuition can be your compass. So let's start by drawing some general energies, some overarching energies to your love and relationship situation at this time, whenever you get this and whenever it resonates. Some overarching energies for your love and relationship situation. This can be if you are single or you are looking for a relationship or you are currently in a relationship. The first card we get is loneliness. I know that I am never alone. So this may be about somebody who's feeling lonely in their singlehood, or they may be in a dating relationship or a committed relationship, and yet they feel lonely in that situation. Or it could be a fear of loneliness if perhaps you're in a relationship and thinking about ending it, or if the end seems imminent, maybe there's the fear of loneliness. So let's see what else comes up for you. General message about love and relationship for whoever feels drawn to this message. Love and relationship. This could also be a friendship sort of relationship, where someone might be feeling lonely at this time. Thank you, Spirit. We have communication is key. New moon in Gemini. And the new moon cards in this deck represent a clean slate, a fresh start, new beginnings, taking a look at what you've released from the full moon period, and you have a chance to start fresh. And we have a fiery climax approaches. Full moon in Aries. So as I was just saying, the full moon time is when you're sort of reaching the climax, the end of a situation, and looking at what to release as you move forward into your new beginning. So this can mean that something big is coming, or the end is coming, but it could be good or bad. This card also invites you to take a look at both sides of the situation as the end is approaching, and it's inviting you to look at the role you might have been playing in this situation. Whether you've been maybe fighting a little bit too hard to get your way, or whether you've been maybe allowing the other person to walk all over you. It's an invitation to take a look at that and to evaluate that. So right away, as I can see that it's a situation where communication is going to be very important. And we'll see what the wisdom of the Oracle has to tell us about this situation. Not for you. Huh. So this card is it kind of goes hand in hand with the idea of rejection is God's protection. The idea that sometimes things just don't work out. Some relationships are just destined to be difficult and perhaps isn't meant to be a long-term relationship or friendship. It served its purpose for a time. You learned from each other. You maybe grew together. But it seems like your higher guidance is telling you at this time it is no longer for you. So perhaps as you are coming to the end, to this fiery climax, it's important to communicate in a loving, clear way. And perhaps if you already suspect that ending the relationship is in the best interests of both of you, perhaps don't let your fear of loneliness stop you, and know that you are never alone, that you have your friends and your family and your higher guidance all around you. Don't let that be what stops you from doing what you know to be right. So now we're going to get into the tarot part of the reading. And the first pile is going to be you, as you currently are. The second pile is going to be your obstacles or challenges in this love and relationship situation. And the third pile is going to be advice from spirit or from your higher guidance. I don't think I'm going to do potential outcomes, because outcomes are never set in stone, and we should never depend on the outcome that we are told by a reader, because all situations are dependent on so many variables, not just yourself and your own personal decisions, but all sorts of factors all around you and the other person. So let's just see what we get here. Alright, so we have Messenger of Water, which is the Knight of Water in the traditional deck. And he is, all the knights are bringers of change, and water is cups, which is emotions. Hello again! So that was weird. My camera battery died, and it takes several hours for it to charge. So I took a break and had a nap, and now we're back at it again to finish this love and relationship reading. So to pick up where we left off, and this Messenger of Water or Knight of Cups card is in your position, which could mean that you are getting ready to communicate your feelings, as this is a love and relationship reading. And you are either hoping for an apology or for the other person to express their feelings, or you are waiting for an opportunity to do that yourself. And then in the position of your challenges or obstacles, we have Eight of Air, which means being surrounded by self-delusion, self-limiting beliefs, confusion, fears, and anxieties. In the traditional tarot, it's a woman with a blindfold on, surrounded by swords in the ground. And it's just not completely enclosing her in, so it sort of suggests that it's a self-made prison that she could easily walk out of, but because you have a blindfold on and you're allowing the blindfold to stay on, you are not seeing your way out of it. So, but in this case, I think it's just confusion and anxiety and not really sure how to see a way out of the present conflict where communication is not happening. And because there's a lack of communication, there's confusion on both parties' ends, probably. So, yeah. And then in the advice from Spirit or your higher guidance, we have the Six of Air, which is also Six of Swords, and that is the card of leaving a difficult situation for a better one, or a temporarily better one, or a safer one, or a more calmer situation. You are moving on. But in the traditional tarot, it shows a woman in a boat with a bunch of swords in it, and a man is rowing her from choppy waters to safer waters. But the presence of the swords on the boat shows that she's still bringing her burdens with her. It's not fully gone, but it's still moving forward from a stressful situation. So your current advice, if this reading resonates with you so far, is to actually walk away, to leave this situation. As we have the not for you card here, and then in the fortune cookie it says nope. Nope. Time to shut the door and walk away, move on, or take a break, whatever it is, but you're being invited to move on to a calmer, safer place, but not without communicating first. This isn't a cut and run kind of situation or sneaking out in the night. There definitely should be a conversation. There's a conversation that is needed to be had, but it seems the advice at this time is to move on, as the situation is not necessarily going to improve from what it is, and moving on, wherever you're moving on to, will actually be better for you at this time. I'm just going to pull some clarifiers on each of the cards. Clarify messenger of water. So for messenger of water, we actually have 10 of cups, which would seem like an odd card to get in this reading, because this is sort of the abundance card, complete happiness, emotional fulfillment. You've got the family, and you've got comfort and stability. But in this particular deck, this is the in-between deck. And this is actually showing the in-between of your having happiness and moving on to, if you can see, moving on to the Ace of Cups. So this is like the in-between the 10 of Cups, which is the completeness and happiness. But showing that as life is cyclical, as life is a circle, like the snake biting the end of its tail, there's even an end. What seems like an ending is really just a beginning. And so perhaps this relationship that you are in, it was once happy and abundant, and as of course they often are at the beginning, which is why we have relationships with people, whether it's romantic or friendships. But in this case, things have changed. And so you're wanting to maybe communicate. In your communication, perhaps you want to express gratitude and appreciation for the relationship as it was, and for the lessons you learned and what you gained from the relationship, and to be grateful for that person and the role they played in your lives. But to perhaps, you see this light in the lake, it implies there's another goal now, there's another place you need to go in your life. So as this is a clarifier for where you are, where you stand right now, you have an awareness that there's something better out there for you. This is the doorway to the Ace of Cups, and the Ace of Cups is the gift from the universe for emotional fulfillment. So you're recognizing that you once had that in this relationship, but that time has come to an end, as you are being encouraged to move on to your next level of emotional fulfillment, or the next lesson that you need to learn. So that's an interesting card to get there. And the next card that came out was the Knight of Wands, but this is again from the in-between deck, so it's in between the Knight of Wands and the Queen of Wands. And the Knight of Wands is, you know, he's sort of feisty and a go-getter, and knows what he wants, but still not entirely confident to maybe express himself or do what he wants, what he feels is really important. But the Queen of Wands, however, is the more confident court card when we're looking at the suit of wands. She knows what she wants and she will act on it, and she's not afraid to believe what she believes and want what she wants and make it happen. So this card perhaps is encouraging you to take a step up from being knight level to being queen level, to do what it is you need to do at this stage in the relationship. And we'll pull some clarifiers on Eight of Air, which is your current challenge or obstacle in this relationship. Perhaps you are confused because, again, we talked about how this was a positive relationship once. You had happiness with this person. Two of Cups is partnership, soulmate partnership, love, and there's obviously joy in this picture. There was love there. There was cooperation. There was happiness. There was equality and balance. However, the story goes on. There's Eight of Cups here. Now this is interesting because you see the similarities. There's that glowing light in the lake again. That glowing light which represents the Ace of Cups, which represents the original offering of emotional fulfillment, which you know you need to go after, which somewhere along the line was no longer present in the relationship. Here this woman is sitting in a boat and she's actually fishing, but is sort of missing where the emotional fulfillment actually is. So she's sort of fishing in the wrong side, on the wrong side of the boat. And the Eight of Cups card is about waiting and waiting for that ninth cup of abundance and happiness to arrive, and it never does. So you sort of give up and you walk away. And it's a really disappointing card because it represents something you invested a lot of time and emotional energy into, only to realize it didn't materialize into what you wanted it to be, and the fruits of your labor weren't what you expected or didn't arrive. So she's fishing on the wrong end of the boat. Sort of implies she's not going to find what she wants where she's looking, but that there's hope just outside of her reach, or within her reach if she were to just look there. So your current obstacle is that you're currently fishing on the wrong side of the boat, and you just need to gain the strength and the courage to make that decision to walk away towards your Ace of Cups, towards your next emotional wish fulfillment or desire. The next card that came up was, this is the Devil card from the In-Between deck. So it's in between the Devil and the Tower, but it's reversed. And in this deck, that means that whatever is happening for you is preventing you from getting to the next stage. So there's an attachment in your life that's toxic and unhealthy. So in this case, the relationship. And you're unable to move on. And the Tower moment is the divine intervention, lightning striking down the tower that's built on not solid foundations, the tower that's built on false hopes or on false dreams. It's not built very strongly. It's like built on sand. And so you're being asked to create your own tower moment and make the choice to walk away and leave this unhealthy or toxic attachment or this relationship that is somehow not healthy for you anymore And again, don't let your fear of loneliness stop you from doing that. But again, what might be creating the illusion or making it so difficult to make this decision, what might be creating the confusion rather, is that it was so good once. It was so good once. And perhaps you don't want to move on and strike down the tower of this unbalanced relationship because you're afraid that there won't be anything else out there for you. You don't see, if loneliness is the fear, you don't see that there's a whole other lake behind you full of fish. And so there's some fear and anxiety around, well, what will happen if I end it with this person? Then I'll have no one. So that's where there's some confusion. That's why you're trapped there. But it doesn't have to be that way, because Spirit is saying, your higher guidance is saying, it's safe to move on. So we'll just clarify the Six of Air. Okay, for Six of Air, you got Seven of Wands. And this is the in-between deck, so it's in between the Seven of Wands and the Eight of Wands. And the Eight of Wands is actually fast movement and communication. So this is just in between. This is the conflict, the struggle. And the Wands represent your passions and your wants and your desires and your faith. And it, in this particular deck, it represents that your wants and desires and what you have to offer is no longer welcome where you are, and you're having to fight and defend yourself. There's a lot of conflict and struggle around this. And eventually these two, they flee, but they bring their wands with them because they're not giving up. It signifies they're not giving up, they're just taking their flames elsewhere and finding another place where they belong, or where they can pursue their passions somewhere else where they are more welcome. So this is a very interesting clarifier for the Six of Air, which is to, leave an unhealthy situation for a better situation where you will be more comfortable, where you would be more free to be yourself, perhaps another relationship that'll be more suited for who you are, and you'll find somebody who will complement you. Yeah, and again, this is also the card that's leading up to the Eight of Wands, which is fast movement and also communication. And then we have the Ace of Wands, which is a beautiful card. It's a gift of inspiration and an opportunity from the universe. So it's just an encouragement that if you move on from this unhealthy relationship, there will be something new for you. There will be something. You can take your wands from this unhealthy relationship. And actually in the background, if you can see, these festival tents are on fire. So this is kind of like a tower moment in this card. It's them fleeing the festival where they were working, where they were sharing their passions and skills. They're leaving a burning festival to take their flames somewhere else that's safer, where they can be themselves, and there will be a new opportunity for you, a new relationship where that will be better for you and healthier. Okay, so I'm just going to get a couple animal cards here to close the reading, and then we'll do the crystal card. So we'll see what the power animals. I like to combine my decks, so I combined my Rider-Waite tarot with the in-between tarot decks, and now I've combined my two Stephen Farmer animal decks, power animals, and also spirit animals or spirit guides. So we'll see what message we get. Okay, we have the zebra. Let go of your fear and know that you are safe and protected at all times. So in this case, let go of your fear of loneliness and what will happen when you end the relationship and move on. There will be something there for you, and you are safe and protected. And we also have Whale, soul's path. Honor your soul's purpose. So there's something about this current relationship that is holding you back, making you feel like you can't be yourself, or that you can't follow your dreams, or whatever it is. It's not healthy for you anymore. And we're going to close with this crystal card. And again, take this message as it resonates. If this isn't your situation, you know, if you're in a relationship that's working right now, and if you're happy, then this message is not for you. So first we have carnelian. And the essential meanings are increased confidence, dignity, poise, and self-assurance. And absolutely, you're being called to have confidence. Confidence in yourself. There is strength in allowing yourself to be vulnerable. After all, intimacy and trust can only be built in if you let yourself be seen as you really are. Be confident in all that you have to offer a partner, and know that the conscious universe wants all of your relationships to nourish you. And equally, if your relationships don't nourish you, by the way, then you need to be confident to try to change them or to walk away. Carnelian spirit is here to remind you of how wonderful you are. Rest assured that as you experience your dignity and hold your head high, others will recognize that you are a pillar of strength and a beautiful, unique spirit. You deserve the relationship that you want for yourself. Be assured that the conscious universe is working to see that you have it. Just like I said here, that there will be something new waiting for you if you leave this other relationship that isn't working for you, that you are not happy in. And then we have Jade. Treasures within, a consciousness of abundance, recognizing that you are more than enough. Interesting. I just want to point out both of these gems are about seeing what you're worth, self-worth, your inner value, recognizing that. Love can draw you to people who will see in you what you do not see in yourself and bring out the best in you. You do not have to be perfect. You can make mistakes, but what you cannot do is wall yourself off when love is crying out for you to connect and expand, for that will keep you from discovering your purpose. Let others help you find your hidden treasures. Listen to those who encourage you, and if someone tries to tell you that you haven't got what it takes, assume otherwise. Then seek out the company of those who see the best within you, for they are friends to treasure. Wow. There you go. So you have been told loud and clear to honor yourself, value yourself, see your self-worth, have the confidence to know you're worth more than a toxic situation that is holding you back. That's not for you. That is not your path. So you can determine the course of this climax that's coming in this relationship. So hopefully this reading was helpful for you and an encouragement that you are worth so much more than you see, and that you shouldn't be afraid that there's nothing for you if you move on from this unhealthy relationship or situation, because there is so much more waiting for you. You just have to look at the other side of the lake and see the bounty and abundance that's behind you and waiting for you. And if you just honor your soul's path and follow your heart, you will draw people to you who will be better for you at this time. I hope this reading was helpful. If it resonated, please like, share, and subscribe, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and love and light to you.